Alright, I'm Adam, that's Pete, that's Vince, and this is the Toon in 10. Okay, the idea goes, we have 2 5-minute halves with a new subject in each half. Once the countdown finishes, that's it, stop talking. Okay, so the first topic, which will kick off the first half, will be how do we think Sunderland will fare this season? Go.
Yeah, to be honest, I think they'll do what they do every season, which is
Scrape survival?
Scrape survival. I'm not saying that. I mean, look, as a Newcastle fan, I'm always going to have rivalry, but I would hate Sunderland not to be in the Premiership. I think they are the most exciting games of the season. Obviously I don't wish them to do well, but equally, if I genuinely thought they were going to do okay, I would say it, but I just don't. I think they're going to have another struggle season. I think A.F.C, yes, he had a good end. He did well with them last season. I think he's a bad appointment. I don't think it's the right direction for Sunderland unless he brings someone in and bleeds someone ready to take over from him.
He's short term.
I just think he's so short term, and that is not what Sunderland need at the moment.
And also, there was a bit of indecision about him taking the job as well, which doesn't bode well. As obviously, there was a lot of talk about Mrs. A.F.C having the final say.
Yeah.
But
What a dick.
It's almost like, well, did he even want it? I'm just like, oh well, only if my wife lets me, sort of thing. It's almost like hiding behind that excuse. If you wanted it, grab it. Yeah. And I just wonder whether the commitment is there. I don't know.
I know it is a weird one, but to be fair, when Sunderland stayed up and A.F.C was genuinely moved by it at the end, at the final whistle, you could see there was tears in his eye. And I've heard people say, oh yeah, because he was happy because he got a $500,000 payout, whatever, or $1 million. Nah.
I'd probably cry if I.
But the guy's a multi-millionaire anyway.
Exactly.
I don't think it had nothing to do with money. He was and that's why it was surprising, on the back of that he didn't take up the job and there was that delay. It is a bit weird.
I wonder. I kind of disagree with you in terms of. I would prefer Sunderland not to be in the Premier League.
What? That's not. Come on.
Given the fact how much stigma the fixtures had for Geordies the last few seasons, it's always hyped up, it's built up, and it's more. We never do well in them, and it's from a purely selfish reason that I'd rather have them out the equation, because they always seem to be games where, regardless of maybe how better our squad can be perceived as, we don't really do well in them.
Well,
but that's not their fault.
But in fairness, that's the reason. But then before
they're awful to sit through and watch. They're awful.
But it's like anything. It's like the World Cup England games. They're stressful and
fine, but much easier to deal with than a derby. I honestly do.
I still think
I could just be done without the chew.
We did have our spell where we won.
Yeah, no, they're in the
ascendancy. They're having that spell at the moment, but it just means that next time it's like, oh God, we've got to do. Of course, I get more excited. Hopefully this season Newcastle will do better, all that. But last few seasons when we've had nothing really to support, that was a game I actually got excited.
Just think at the moment it's a game we could do without. Like we need kind of regular games where we just concentrate on the football.
I think it's small-minded
that comes with it.
I think it's small-minded to think we don't want some. I think it's good for the region. Majority of fans look for it. It's good for the area. It's good for the northeast. I think we do need to be. I want us to finish above them, but I want a league where they're in. As for how they'll do this season, Sunderland's transfer policy confuses me, because I would say Sunderland, dare I say it, we're in need of more of a freshen up of the team than we are. They've got a strange transfer policy when they're kind of buy mid-league players.
They've brought in Kabul. They've brought in Jermaine Lons as well.
I just think they need a striker. I think they should have.
Kabul could shore up that defence, but again, I never regarded him as Mr. Dependable at Spurs.
I think for $3 million, I would have had him at that price. I would have had him at $3 million. 29-year-old, Premier League proven. Yeah. He's a tank. He's 6'3". He's a beast.
I think for me, Sunderland's issue at the back was the fact that they had no pace whatsoever. Quartez, who I think they've brought in now permanently. Yeah. Virginie had no pace, and they've you look at the likes of O'Shea, like
Van Aanholt's been all right.
Van Aanholt, and he's got pace, but across the rest of them, across the back, lacking pace, and Kabul will not help that.
I think they've got a lot of highly paid sort of mediocre players.
They've got a lot, and no randoms.
Yeah.
They do have randoms playing for them out. Just back there, that was nice.
They need a striker. I think Fletcher is no good. I mean, what's happened with Wickham? Is he out of contract?
He's a funny one. No, he's not.
So I've got.
I think he's signed a new contract on the back of last.
I've got a mate who's a Sunderland supporter, and he despises Conor Wickham.
Really?
Yeah, he absolutely hates
I
him.
was jealous when they signed Wickham. I wanted him for Newcastle.
It was again, they paid a lot of money for him, wasn't it? Double figures, wasn't it?
10 million, yeah, they paid
10
a
million
lot for a championship player.
But at the same time, they're playing him out on the wing, like they're playing him, and
well, we
play him.
we played CC on the wing, so I'm not going to call Sunderland.
Stop. And that's half time. All right, welcome back to the second half. We're going to get straight into it. And the topic for the second half will be, do we think the noise will return to St James's Park under McClaren? Go.
Well, I think it's interesting, this one, because we all sit in different areas. I moved from the East Stand 2 seasons ago, and last season I spent the full season in this Strawberry Gallagher corner.
Still sort of
And
in the stand.
it's completely... The atmosphere there is a hell of a lot better. So I think the atmosphere is good in that pocket. About 3,000 in the corner, it's good. But it only spreads throughout the ground on key games. The best atmospheres last season were Chelsea. Well, 2 seasons ago was Chelsea games. And West Ham was a good atmosphere the last game.
Yeah, the last game,
I don't know
yeah.
what it is. It's how do you galvanise people? I don't know if we need a singing section, but that corner's all right. And I think the family corner, just next to the away fans, there's pockets of noise there.
Like up level 7 still, where the old school section used to be. There is still some noise up there. But I mean, I think as a whole, I mean, the last couple of seasons I've been going, and it's just everyone turns up with a sort of sense of apprehension, and everyone just feels like it's a chore to be there. I mean, West Ham was different because we had something to really play for, and maybe with this time round we've got rid of Deadwood, like, the Carver and Stone, and Pardew's not there. We've got somebody new in now under McClaren. So, and we've actually spent money on some decent players so far, and I expect I expect the spending to continue up until, although we need them in before the first game of the season rather than just the end of the window. But I think that alone, at least that first game against Southampton, is going to be buzzing.
Yeah.
It really will. The thought of Wijnaldum, who's already got a couple in this pre-season, the thought of Mitrovic, the thought of a new centre-back partnership, or that enough. Because while the optimism remains, surely there's no reason to not be up for it.
There's no reason, and it could come back. I am conscious though that the hatred of Ashley is so deep rooted with a lot of fans.
Not with me.
Not really love him.
Not everyone, of course.
But I think I'm hoping that people are able to kind of see past that and are able to be excited about Wijnaldum and Mitrovic and stuff like that, because
they're a positive distraction,
they
and
are.
it's what we've cried out for. New signings give life to fans again.
I think in reality, as much as look, I'm not Ashley's biggest fan, but he's so far he's delivered. Now it's over to us to do our job.
So when did the atmosphere drop then? When did it drop? Because we're talking about bringing it back. When
I would say,
you guys see it dip?
For me, it was after we finished 5th, and then probably around the autumn when results started going bad. And obviously there was that season, I think we finished, was it 17th, was it?
Yeah.
The season after. And I think Pardew had started to make a few bad decisions with substitutions and
I think it dropped.
selections.
It dropped away before that. I mean, the season we got relegated was bad then. I feel as though the season we finished 5th was a bit of an anomaly.
It was a bit of an overachievement, because we didn't push on from there.
The noise came back then, but that's what I mean. Actually, if you think it hasn't been there for a long time.
That's right. I think
it hasn't been there for a long time.
Late 2000.
I mean, I'd say one of the best atmospheres I've experienced was that season we finished 5th and we beat Liverpool 2-0, and it was a bright sunny day.
It was the best.
And Cisse got a couple.
Carroll
and Jose Enrique went in goal, and it was electric, and we were heading to Europe, and we knew it, and it was so loud, and it was just organic noise, and I want that back again. I want
But
I want the idea that we
Chelsea
turn
games have
up.
been
That
like that. The Chelsea games
Yeah.
have been like that.
So-
More. And when we beat Liverpool this season was like that again.
Perez scored, yeah. I just think like we I just want that back again. I want to turn up to a football match and that the result actually matters and means something to that it will go towards, you know, the rest of the success of the season.
But how do you galvanise
rather than
the
just
fans?
I don't know.
Because look at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Wins on the
Palace
pitch.
have got a pocket
Result.
of fans that are mental. They are unbelievable. They're one of the best away fans we've had come to us. And the home games have got that. Regardless of how they're doing, they have a section and the galvanised fans. People will talk about Borussia Dortmund, the wall, regardless of how they're doing. The fans.
It won't be repaired.
Why can't the fans do that?
What's happened with Ashley over the last few years
Why
won't be
can't we do
repaired
it?
overnight, but I think results will help. Again, what I
you
think of
can sing if you
McClaren.
want.
What if
Doesn't matter what the-
Yeah, no, but they're going to be. They're going to be. They need to see something worth singing about. Do you know what I mean? It's a two-way relationship.
I
In fairness,
agree.
you're right.
I 100%
It's a
agree.
two-way relationship, though.
The thing is, right, I remember first game of last season, and I said this in the previous one.
Really optimistic.
I thought our summer signings last season were good.
We spent a lot of money.
First game of the season, the two people I sat with whinged. What do you want?
Stop. And that's full time. Thanks very much for tuning in to another episode of the Toon and 10. Remember to hit subscribe on YouTube. Share with all your friends. I've been Adam. That's been Pete. That's been Vince. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
All good?
Can he?